Welcome back to AM Northwest. There have been a lot of social media comments and concern over Ariana Grande's appearance. So how do you know what to do when you're worried about a loved one's health? Here with some helpful insights, we welcome back dietitian and author of Reclaiming Body Trust, Dana Sturtevant. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
I contacted you because, I've been seeing people, specifically about Ariana, but it's about other celebrities too, but saying, oh, leave her alone. And one person in particular said, we're watching her die in front of our very eyes. That's concerning. And who's right there? How do you know when it's someone who's killing themselves by starving themselves? And how do you know if it's just a look that she wants to wear?
Right. I mean, I think one thing we know is we're back in an era of emaciation where this is being really normalized. And instead of seeing celebrities as they're shrinking before our very eyes, and, we hear media calling it their toned arms.
Yeah.
Whereas a dietitian who specializes in eating disorders and knows how to evaluate malnutrition, we see temporal wasting in the face. We see collarbones. We see bones that we're not supposed to see on a body that's nourished.
Right.
And I think one of the things that's challenging is we've seen her body specifically change in real time.
Right.
She did not look like this prior to filming Wicked, and we saw both of those stars' bodies really change. And the thing that's really concerning to me is the frailty, and that thinness is not, it's not an image of health necessarily. What we believe in is body diversity, ultimately, that bodies exist on a spectrum. And oftentimes at statistical extremes, there can be health concerns. Some people are naturally thin and may have trouble keeping weight on.
Right.
However, with many of these celebrities, these aren't the bodies we know.
Right.
What we often talk about in our work is really focusing more on the normalization of this, and how as we are exposed to bones and clavicles and shoulder blades, we start to see that as normal. Right. And so it's really hard to then see in this disordered culture of ours that's so preoccupied with pursuing and worshiping thinness, often under the guise of health. It gets really tricky. And how do we shift the conversation away from specific people to what in our society is making this normal? These folks have people around them. I mean, I'm even thinking about you and I here, knowing the camera does add some weight.
Yeah.
And when I was
it really does, everybody.
And when I was preparing for this segment, I watched one of those videos, and I was like, if this is what she looks like on camera, I can't imagine what she looks like in real life. And then I imagine people are probably expressing concern over her health and her well-being. But again, I think as a society, it's better for us to focus on the culture and the normalization of thinness.
Yeah, that's a good point, because knowing even what to say and to whom, something that stands out in my own life is I was having lunch with my sister, and I said something about her being so skinny, and she goes, well, I don't comment about your body. You shouldn't comment about mine. I thought it was a compliment, but she didn't take it as a compliment. I go, oh, that's a good point. Even though I think I'm calling you skinny as a compliment, it's not necessarily. It's like I shouldn't be making a comment about your body no matter what. But if someone's emaciated, or you think they might have an eating disorder, where do you start that conversation?
Yeah, it's a hard one. That's the tricky part. Yeah. I mean, I agree, not making we never know what's going on. I mean, I had a friend who was going through a heartbreaking divorce, and she was getting compliments about her body. So not everyone sees weight loss as a positive thing, or even being skinny as a positive thing. There are cultures that worry about people. I think, just making a statement like, I hope you're okay if you ever need to talk to somebody I'm here for you.
That's good. I like that. And then we just as a society need to work on not normalizing the extreme emaciation that we're seeing out there now. Like, don't normalize that. It's really bad for young girls and teens, especially, who are coming into the world and seeing that as, you know, like something to aspire to.
Yeah. Changes in body size are not always a sign something's wrong.
Right.
And, you know, again, this era of emaciation, we're seeing really extreme, bony, skeletal bodies that then we start to think is the normal. And then, you know, I also want to name like the wiggle room that often these celebrities have for being, you know, you have anorexia and your fat is like five pounds. And so it's absurd.
It is absurd.
It's just completely absurd.
Yeah.
And that industry particularly, I think, is used to just looking the other way, and what they normalize, like eating a cucumber for breakfast or lunch, is not normal.
No.
Like, it shouldn't be revered. We shouldn't be like, oh, you have so much willpower.
Yeah. Okay. This could go on, and we also need to stop talking about people's bodies. Okay. So her book is Reclaiming Body Trust. Dana Sturtevant, thank you so much. It's a good conversation. And we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Stay with us. It's